My headphones too.
All right, hey there, hold there, folks. Sick moves.
That exhausted me too much. I can't do a show now.
Yeah, we're done. We just tired ourselves out. Woo! Winded.
Wow.
Majestrombowski. I almost said
There's a Jastromboki in here.
Jastromboki says sick moves.
Wow. Thanks.
And, yeah, thank you.
She has to say that.
Yeah, contractually obligated.
I yell at her if she doesn't.
Oh my gosh. Hey,
compliment my moves.
Jastromboki, if you need me to call somebody, do a sound alert.
Don't respond. Don't respond to him about that.
And I'm not saying do the sound alert thing just to test if I got sound alerts working right before the shot.
I'm not sure she knows. Not to doubt her abilities, but she uses Twitch so infrequently. I'm not sure she knows how to sound alert.
How to sound an alert?
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure.
For this use, if I'm saying do a sound alert, this is actually like an alert, you know?
Yeah.
With the sound.
Call the police. FBI, open up.
You click on the lips, and then there should be a bunch of sound effects. Oh wait, you just said a sound. Hold on.
FBI, open up!
There you go.
That one actually sounds like it could be in the room.
It does, yeah. That one actually, when I hear it not caused by me, it kind of startles me a little bit. Looks like the sound alert did not, in fact, function.
As I say, Xenut's tried to do it. There's a no-go.
Can you do me a favor? Can you log into sound alerts right quick?
May? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't... Because of the stupid two-factor shit on Twitch, I can't.
Oh. I don't even know what our sound alerts are through right now. Let's see if I can figure it out.
Oh yeah, and I mean...
It's a good show.
Yeah, this is a great show. As you can see, this is also different from our usual format. Actually, your screen is hogging my screen.
Oh, it just shoved me a little bit. Push me out of the way.
I'm gonna pop shove it, just a tad. My favorite skateboard trick to pop shove it.
I like the going down slight incline.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You Mongo, bro?
Sometimes.
Nice. You don't have to do this while you're, but if you're logged into sound alerts, we have that like replacement for the sexy time music that we keep saying, oh, we should replace that.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
I'm not sure if that's like a quick process for you. I don't want to distract you from like.
It's fine. This is a progress fest, so this counts.
Yeah, that's true. That's part of the progress.
Here's the thing. I don't think the viewers' feelings are gonna be that hurt, because when I do get back to work, I'm gonna animate a leaf falling off a plant, which might be less interesting.
Oh man. So yeah, I'm gonna tell the viewers what a progress fest is. It's a fun little name we came up with like over 10 years ago for when we sit down and we just work on shit together. Because we have some obligations that we need to get done before the month is over. Not only before the month is over, but like with a little bit of wiggle room for me to edit things.
Yeah.
So we got to get some shit done for, I don't want to call them a client, but
it's a DrawBomb project. So we'll pass the savings on to all of you. You'll get to see it. You'll get to enjoy it.
That's true. And I mean, the person will be on.
We have to finish it first.
The person will be on
tomorrow.
The stream tomorrow.
Right. All right, I'm on here.
Wow.
All right, I'm on sound alerts. Do I need to do anything specific?
Just need to log in. As far as I'm aware, that usually tends to make it function.
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right.
Wow.
That worked. Wow. I actually wasn't.
Okay. Wow.
I wasn't sure if that would actually function because like, they're like, have it open on your computer on the sound alerts thing. They're like, have it open on your computer for it to work, and I'm like,
I see.
but hey, if it's open, it's open. It works.
Wow.
Let me see if I can adjust some of this.
Yeah,
It's
Jastromboki.
sexy.
If you click on the lips, there's a bunch of like different sound effects you can play to distract us. And that's it.
There you have it. Can I just add any sound?
You should be able to,
I'm
as
so
far as I'm
dumb.
aware.
Okay.
I'm super excited for the sound that you're trying to put in because I think it's so fucking funny.
It looks like they've added a lot to sound alerts. We should like go in there and like
kind of do
freshen
like
it up. We should do that with a lot of our stuff, honestly.
Very true. We should have a sit down someday and just like freshen up the stream elements.
What's the name of that song? The one that
D-Bat?
merged with it?
Or are you talking
D-Bat?
about Careless Whisper? C-Bat. With like a...
D-Bat.
And I have no idea why. Yeah, so we're working on stuff. This is for the chat, but we're working on some stuff. Trying to get these projects done. I don't see lips. I'll figure it out. I'm determined. Well, it should be right at the bottom left of your chat. It should be a little lips next to maybe a number.
She is on her phone.
Oh, that will change it. I don't know. I don't use the Twitch on the phone layout very often.
You see, she doesn't need to press it because she doesn't need to. She's not in danger.
Find the lips. Hold on, let me just check to see on my phone where the Twitch app is. Hold on. I do actually have it on my phone. I can check real quick. The Bob Ross channel. Oh yeah, it's like where if you, depending on like how you have it set up, it's like right next to where you type into the chat. Like there should be like some lips to the left of the window that you type into.
All right, I think it should be live. If anybody wants to, well, I guess we could charge it.
I'm about to test it out myself. Is it called Sexy Time Music still?
It should still be called Let's Get Sexy, but I just changed it out.
There it is. Okay. That's so good.
Maybe we won't get struck for that. Maybe we will. Who knows?
We'll find out when I upload this to YouTube. YouTube, but the funny thing is, like, when it happens, YouTube is just like, hey, we're gonna take the money you earned from this video. And I'm like, joke's on you, motherfuckers, you already do.
You spent more money than we made just finding this.
Yeah.
And removing it.
You goofs.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That's
We're
beautiful.
good.
I'm so happy that works now. I love that. That's gonna be, oh, posture check. Get that posture right.
Is that from Jastromboki? Did she have the power of the lips now? She does.
She discovered the power of the lips. Although she hasn't done a sound alert, so that means that's not a call for help. That's just telling us we're slouching. I have a question. Do you have like a lumbar support pillow in your chair or anything of that nature? Or
no, but the chair is like a
lumbar support.
Very nice chair.
Okay.
So honestly, like I think this chair is like when my back is the healthiest is when I'm in it. Everywhere else I'm like a ghoul.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like a chair is definitely worth splurging on, you know?
Sure.
if you sit in it for a very long period of time, it's like worth having a good ass chair that's like gonna be good for your back. This chair, I actually do have like a pillow. This thing probably smells of like back sweat now. But I do have a pillow that I like tuck up under my back to like support my lumbar a bit better. I'll be honest, like when I first started putting this pillow behind my back, I was like, this is probably not gonna do anything. But now I feel so naked without it on my chair, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's support both emotionally and physically.
Exactly. It's my little Linus blanket.
I eat da poo poo like iced cream.
I just added text to speech for only 1,000 points. Let's hope that doesn't get us into trouble.
I'm gonna sound like a real scumbag right now. We should make it. You have to donate like 100 bits.
More. Okay.
Or bits, you know, like in order to put.
Oh,
like,
I can do that.
Because that way, I mean, I've seen it work. Like people will pay money to spam like a voice on our chat, and I'm like,
how about this? For the channel, I'll make it like 50,000 lips, or like for free. Is that and then what? We'll add it for bits for much cheaper as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with like a certain amount of channel points that is like kind of prohibitively expensive, and then for bits it's like $1, you know, and then people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or do you want it not at channel points at all?
I'm fine with it being. I don't want to like.
How many do you think it should cost?
20,000. Or no, let's do 10,000 bits. I feel, or channel points. 10,000 channel points. I feel like is still a long. That still takes a little bit of watching some of our ads and stuff to get it to work, you know. But yeah, I love the new. I love the new sexy time music. That's so funny. I'm pretty sure I've linked
messing
it.
with this shit.
No, that's okay. Don't. It's no rush. But I'm pretty sure I've linked it to you, or I might have like just like talked your ear off about it. But I've talked to you. I know I've talked to you about Adam Neely's YouTube channel, where he just kind of talks about like the psychology of music and this, that, and the other. He makes like really great videos that are kind of about music, but you don't need to know music to understand his videos. And he's got one about CBAT, and like it's in the context of that Reddit post where the person said like, oh this girl like stopped seeing me because I played CBAT during sex, and the whole video is about like, is the rhythm of CBAT actually good for fucking? And it's a great video. It's actually a really great video. I highly recommend to anybody. Go find Adam Neely.
I like that somebody's doing the science.
Yeah, his parents
really
are both
doing the legwork.
His parents are both like psychologists, so he kind of like has that lens to sort of view things. And Shiny Doggy says, "How did you figure out TTS?" It's like plugins, right?
It's apparently it's within the sound alerts. Go to soundalerts.com. And it's one of the options. It's just in there, and
nice.
And it's very easy. But the only part I'm struggling around is to try to get it to cost bits.
I think that might be a separate plugin. Like if you go to the Twitch dashboard, they have like plugins you can install, and I think that that's like if you type in TTS, there's one where you can set up a specific TTS thing to cost bits.
Okay.
There's also a way to make specific sound alerts cost bits too, which we should also let's sit down someday. Let's figure out how we can get get the rubes to fork over like pennies to play sounds on our videos.
Give me your money.
Yes, right. And Lotus is here in the chat. First of all, Shiny Doggy. Hello, Shiny Doggy. Good to see you.
Hello.
Eat that poo poo like ice cream. Bishop, look at this. And we have Lotus Clock here saying, are you guys working on an empty head buffet skit? Yes, actually, I'm actually still drawing Alex Trebek getting chewed up by dogs. But I figured out how to, I'm just doing like Alex talking. I figured how to kind of cheat the other dogs barking. And then Brandon's working on, and I'm hoping to be able to get to that in the course of this episode. Brandon's working on the skit after the one I'm working on, which we do need to get done in a timely manner. And I'm working on the skit I'm trying to get up this week. Brandon's working on the skit we're trying to get up by March, like the very beginning of March, I would say.
Yeah.
So we're busy boys, which is why we're doing this. We're doing a Progress Fest. Ha ha ha!
It's gotta happen. We gotta get it done.
You gotta do it. If the TTS thing is a lot to kind of get sorted,
I'm almost done messing with it. It looks like there is a. I set it up somehow. Do we have like a
way to test it?
What? I'm not sure where it is. It says it's like we might need. Do we have the extension?
That's yeah. Well, Twitch extensions you should be able to like. For a lot of Twitch extensions, you just like click add extension in your dashboard. It's like a whole actually separate section on the Twitch website proper.
Right.
And then usually you have to like go to a like thing to like manually flip it on, because you can like install an extension for your Twitch page, but then you have to like turn it on so that it's not just like running automatically.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna play our new Twitch.
I just figured.
What's up?
Yeah, go ahead. I just figured we had the extension if this works at all, right? Or are you doing it through OBS?
Well, it's
both, right?
It's both. Yeah. It's like I'm pretty sure it's an extension on Twitch, but the TTS might be a separate thing from Sound Alerts. I'm not sure.
Sure.
But yeah, Sound Alerts itself is a Twitch extension. The TTS is a Twitch extension. I am gonna play our new Sound Alert one more time because I'm such a fan of it. You did a great job.
It's a good one.
Finding that. It's so funny.
I didn't make it or anything. You
curated it, you know?
That I did.
If our Sound Alerts are an art gallery, you're the curator.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind.
So funny.
Good one. All right. I'm not sure I'll do it right now. I'll look into it in the future. But right now, you can send a TTS in for a measly 10,000 bits. I mean, who doesn't have that?
Yeah.
Rolling around in their pocket.
Just jangling. In the meantime.
Time for me to
yeah
draw some shit.
Brandon, what have you been up to this past week?
Oh man, I've been working an uncomfortable amount.
Oof.
Just grinding it out, you know. You gotta keep the shareholders happy.
That's right.
But yeah, I've just been working a bunch on various, things I care about, things I don't, and in between as well.
The things you don't care about do pay you money, so that's at least a
exactly.
benefit.
That's the ironic part. Things I give the least shit about are the ones that I need the most for survival.
Isn't that how it always? Actually, no, but isn't that the way modern society works? You know.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeesh. Lotus Clock says, do you guys do like 3 or 4 skits in advance? No, we are just...
It's me, the DrawBomb. I'm alive. Hooray.
Hooray.
Wow. I knew it. I knew he was real.
Oh my god. DrawBomb. we should
if you need help, play a Sound Alert.
Yeah, we should make it part of like the canon where the DrawBomb is like an Eldritch god or something like that.
I wonder if there's... Where does the sound go when it plays? Is there any way we could send it through a honk puppet that appears and is like, beep bop boop, I'm a fucking weird puppet?
I have no doubt that there is a way to do that.
Well, we gotta figure that out then, because that's real fun.
we'd have to sit down for an afternoon and kind of like game through.
There's so many things we could do with the medium if we just put a little more time into the actual like infrastructure of Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, we got paid $26
bucks
each out of Twitch last week. That's
true. So we have plenty of money for
clearly it's
upgrading this machine.
Real quick, Lotus Clock says, you guys do 3 or 4 skits in advance? No, we usually are working, but we're flying by the seat of our pants normally, and in fact we still are, but we I don't want to. This isn't necessarily a commission, but this is sort of an opportunity. I'm gonna call it. So we're kind of working on 2 skits currently. One skit that like everyone's done with their stuff except for me because I got busy with some other stuff. And then the other skit that we're trying to get done by the beginning of March. So it's kind of like it's just what it is.
In your defense, you have the biggest piece of work. True.
But I've also got the least amount of job. So it evens out.
There's give and take.
Yeah, there's give and take. Lotus Clock says, I'm so jealous GIMP doesn't detect my tablet's pressure because my tablet is a very old model. That's interesting. I feel like, depending on your tablet, my Cintiq might be older. But who knows? Who can never be sure. Johnny Doggy says, I'm 4K short, sorry guys. Oh, they spent all their money.
We'll never know what the DrawBomb has to say. It's just too expensive right now.
Too expensive. I can't even refund it. I was actually going to refund the channel points for Shiny Doggy, but I can't.
Okay, until we fix, or until we get it up to bits, I'm going to lower the price a little bit. Make it fun for this episode, but we won't leave it this cheap forever. So, and if it gets annoying, I'll immediately snap it away.
Yeah, but soon it's gonna cost you real money. Because
this is just to wet the whistle, so they get hooked. You see, and then they'll be spending bits like they're nothing.
First, you give them a taste. Also, Shiny Doggy says they'd love to figure out the puppet thing with the TTS. I've seen Doug do it. I know Doug. But Doug also actually codes his own shit, and he doesn't use honk. He like codes his own shit.
Yeah, it's on a level we are not on. Okay, the price just came down. I don't know. I can't math.
5,000.
Went from 10,000 to 1,000.
That's 9,000.
9,000%.
9,000 points.
Well, I know the actual amount. I was curious too.
That'd be 90%.
It's not 9,000. 90%.
Yeah.
Okay.
90% reduction.
Wow, I'm learning.
I've wanted to do that with an intern, says Shiny Doggy, like having an intern as a honk puppet on her stream for TTS. That's fun.
Oh, that's perfect.
Shiny Doggy.
It'd be fun to like.
Sorry, go ahead.
It would be fun to like rig it up so it has to like start with like, "Excuse me, sir," and then it says like whatever they.
Yeah. Then it like drops your coffee as it like leaves the screen. Shiny Doggy says we got asked to be in a show at UCB. We're allowed to say that. I figured, yeah, there's not too much where that we've been like we haven't signed any NDAs or anything like that. I've been like refusing to divulge details mostly because nothing is like doors are open, but like we haven't gone through the doors yet. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying not to, in my mind, put too much emotional weight on things and just kind of keep it business as usual because I figure that way I won't like emotionally overstimulate myself, you know what I mean? I'm okay with saying that, like, you know, what Shiny Doggy said in the chat. But yeah, we got asked to be in a show with UCB.
Doing animation for a UCB show, which is very exciting.
Very exciting. There's some people who will be in the audience who may or may not give a shit.
Like God. God will be there. He's everywhere.
That's right. God will be watching. There was a song. I remember having like a Living in the 90s CD that had like a God is watching type song on it, but it was kind of like funny in a way if you think about it, but I don't remember it anymore. They also had the song Touch Myself, where it's this woman going like, when I think about you, I touch myself.
Yeah. It was in the Austin Powers soundtrack.
Was it really? Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. It's when he makes the fembots' heads blow up, obviously, Ian.
Of course.
Jesus.
Of course.
Some people just don't know fine art. Like
that movie still holds up. I've seen it in the last 5 years, and that movie is still hilarious.
Yeah, it's the others that are kind of less because they're the same movie.
Yeah, I mean, Spy Who Shagged Me is decent, but not nearly the caliber of Man of Mystery, which is the first one. And then Goldmember is the one I've seen the most, because it was playing all week on a TV when I was in Iowa and had nothing else to do, so I just watched Goldmember like multiple times a day for an entire week. But that doesn't mean it's the best one. In fact, I would go as far as to say of the 3 Austin Powers movie, it's third.
It's got Scott Ackerman in it though. So
Does it really?
That makes it pretty. He plays Nigel Powers in like a flashback.
No shit, that's amazing.
He talks about it on the show like all the time because it's like as a joke, like, oh yes, I'm in films as well.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that. That actually reminds me. So I just finished watching Golden Girls with my mom. We have gone through every episode of the Golden Girls now.
So you finished it?
We finished Golden Girls, yeah. So naturally, the next thing to do is to watch The Golden Palace, which is the same show, except now they own a hotel, and Dorothy, aka B. Arthur, is not on it anymore, except for she was a guest in 2 episodes. And Don Cheadle is in it, like a very young Don Cheadle, and Cheech Marin is. They're both like the new main characters.
Whoa.
Yeah, and also the one episode we just watched had like an insanely young Jack Black in a bit role. He was in there and he had like 2 lines, and then he was gone after like 2 minutes.
It's funny. There's some Jack Black speckled throughout.
Yeah.
Time, if you know where to look.
It's still weird to me that he was in like that rom-com about people who like go from London to America and America to London, and he's like a romantic lead in it. Because when I think of Jack Black, I do not think of a romantic lead.
What? Haven't you ever seen Nacho Libre?
I mean, look, Nacho Libre is a classic. Okay, I actually have seen Nacho Libre in the last 2 years, and I gotta say that movie is actually incredible.
I know. It's funny. There's a few movies I've seen. A few movies that are super dumb that I've seen when I was like a kid, and I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Then I see it as an adult, and I'm like, haha, funny. And I'm like, what is happening to me? That young me was more mature than adult me? Maybe.
Yeah, young you is just more concerned about being cool and like looking cool. And,
that's probably true.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Real quick, Business Father's in the chat. Hello, Business Father. Good to see ya.
Welcome. Welcome.
The Bomb, Meowch, you keep getting ads for Cheech and Chong gummies. I want Cheech and Chong. I haven't been high.
Oh, you just mentioned Cheech Marin.
I did, yeah. I did. Well, I think that's why Business
That's why.
Brought it up. It's a bit much. I wouldn't mind some Cheech and Chong gummies. I'd support the boys. And then I guess I called Nacho Libre a classic, which in my mind, it's an underrated. I guess it's not a classic, but it is an underappreciated gem. Is I guess.
I think it's a classic. When did it come out? It's been out like.
I mean, it's been out a while.
15 years.
I would call it a classic, but I also think a classic, for a thing to be a classic, it kind of has to have a certain amount of like recognition. I feel like maybe it's a cult classic, you know, because it's like a cult classic kind of has like that less, because like The Godfather is considered a classic and everyone knows The Godfather. Not as many people, I'd say.
Father?
Yeah, it's like
what is that one about?
It's about a dude and like these people he knows have a baby. And they're like, hey man, you know, if we die, do you want to take care of this baby? And he says, sure. And then that's the movie.
Oh, I've seen that. It has so like the 3 guys taking care of the baby. It's like Ted Danson and what's the
Tom
other 2? Tom Selleck and 3 men and a baby. See the third man?
Isn't he the guy with the mustache?
Probably. He's always been the guy with the mustache. And then there's the guy from Police Academy, which his name escapes me right now.
Oh, the main guy? Oh shit!
Yeah, for like the first 5 before he decided to get out.
There's like a whole episode of Party Down where he's like a main character.
Yes, exactly, and that's the reason that yes, it's Steve something. Shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it.
I want to say Judge Reinhardt, but it's not. Or Judge Reinhold.
It's not.
It's not.
Come on, chat. Steve Gutenberg. Boom.
Steve Gutenberg.
Got it before the chat. I win.
Nice. Good work. Good work. Steve Buscemi, Steve Martin. You were close. Business Father says, a wedding, baby, the end. There are gods, fathers, ghosts, sons, the Triforce. That is, and if if you meet up with Tom Selleck and like you crawl through a hole and then you meet Tom Selleck at the fairy fountain, he gives you Din's fire, and you can shoot a little big old ball of fire that goes around you.
Well, dude, you must have read the guide. Did you get the guide at the book fair?
I read the novelization of The Godfather. Remember when they used to? Okay, so they used to make. They don't do this anymore.
Yeah, I think they still do it actually.
Do they really? There's no way.
I think so.
Who's like they used because like nowadays people watch the movie so they don't read the book. But
Not
like
everybody.
I remember one time for some reason a teacher like I was like. Because in school, I was like a big reader. I could read really fast, and I just like powered through books.
Dude. How fast are we talking?
I'm so smart, dude. Like my teacher, like it was a class we were supposed to read a certain amount of books or something like that, and I like read all of the books we needed to, and we still had like a month left. So my teacher's like, you should probably still be reading books while everyone's reading books for this class about reading books. So I don't know. Here's the novelization of Terminator 3.
Whoa.
And so I read the novelization of Terminator 3.
Bye, shiny doggy.
Bye, shiny doggy. Good to have you here. So that was interesting to me. And honestly, I'll bet you the novelization was better than the movie, because the movie was kind of dookie, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember Terminator 3, but Terminator 2 was awesome.
Terminator 2 is a great. I mean, Terminator 2 is
probably
a
the best one, right?
Yeah,
it's the Terminator.
Yeah,
it's the good one.
Which is impressive because Terminator 1 is also a very good movie. So for the sequel to actually be better is an achievement, which is why James Cameron has achieved the impossible.
He only achieves, you know. He achieves often. It's kind of his thing.
Yeah, it's a shame that he died in that submarine trying to go to see the Titanic.
Yeah,
you know?
He shouldn't have used that stupid little controller. Yeah. Oh well.
It's a shame. I would say the most recent Game of Thrones are novelizations because the author was hauling ass to get the scripts and books out. Oh yeah, I hope he diverts from the final season because.
I'm okay if he follows all the same. I mean, it'd be interesting if he did something different, but I'm okay if he does the same things. But you know, have him be the one writing it and spread it out like he normally would. Don't make it
so rushed.
Go as fast as it did in the show.
Yeah. I still need to.
That's what I have to say.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones past when they turned the baby into the zombie at the end of season 5, I think it is.
They did what? Oh no!
I don't know if you know. Game of Thrones is
poor
kind
thing.
It's a messed up show, man. Like people do things in that show that is not cool.
Oh no! Well, we should probably that show should be taken off the air then. I think.
Yeah, we should.
They should end that show.
Yeah, we should censor it. No, but
it's not cool to turn a baby into a zombie.
No, I would say if any of you in the chat have turned a baby into a zombie with the power of ice magic, get out of our chat right now. Okay?
Stop it.
Stop it.
Just stop it already.
Stop turning babies into ice zombies, okay? Jeez.
They don't. Yeah.
Anyways. So the novelization of Nacho Libre. No.
I had this. I think I've said it to you before, and it's not like this genius take or anything, or even close. Because I mean, A, because it's just not, and B, because the movie is produced by Nickelodeon. But watching it as an adult, the place my mind keeps going is like, this is a live action cartoon to a cartoon that never existed. Like, yeah. I would love, like, it feels animated, even though it's live action. You know what I mean? Like the characters, everything, when, like, even the shots.
Yeah, the shots, especially, it's like weird. It's like if Wes Anderson directed a live action adaptation of a cartoon. Exactly. Feels, there you go. There it is. It feels very Wes Andersonian, like the way its shots are constructed and the sort of like tone it takes without like the grim stuff that like, because like Wes Anderson will have like cutesy shit, but then he'll also have like somebody get their fingers chopped off or something like that. And
yeah, it's like gross and dirty, but not even, I don't mean dirty like inappropriate dirty, just like everybody's like before every shot, everybody got like into like a mud bath and then like climbed out and shot the movie.
A spritzing of sweat on their brows and stuff. But like, there's like that shot where like they're at the big mansion party, and like the woman, there's a woman in there, and she literally has like holes in walls that she crawls through to get around
Secret
the house
tunnels,
really fast. Yeah. And anyways, I watched, like, my D&D group all got together the one night and just watched Nacho Libre, and we had a great time.
It holds up. In fact, it gets better with time, I think.
It does. I agree.
The last time I watched it, I enjoyed it more than ever.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's probably problematic that Jack Black is the main actor, but honestly, it's still funny. I don't know. It's still good.
I agree, and I've thought that, and you're probably right. But I will say, not that just like this is probably problematic, just like getting the okay of one like Hispanic person, but Morgan's stepdad is Hispanic, and he's a very big fan of that movie.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know.
Hey, I mean,
doesn't mean it's all right, but
yeah. Hey, us white guys give it the seal of approval.
Hey, I know a guy who's Mexican, and he said it's cool.
We got that. Okay. It's still a great movie in my opinion. I mean, you know, it's still good.
Yeah.
I can't reconcile everything about it, but I still think it's great. Apparently it's not a big deal for some people, at least. I don't know. There's only so much I can say on the subject without just being like, I fucking like the movie, okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, if you tell me that it's bad, I'll probably be like, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Everything that we like is problematic somehow. Like, shit, we're streaming on Twitch right now. Like, someone's peeing in a jug so that we could stream on Twitch. I don't know what to say anymore. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Is Twitch powered by piss?
It's pee powered.
Whoa.
That's what makes the lips in our chat all the more gross. Anyways, I like Nacho Libre. It's a very funny movie. Gotta whip out the piss jugs. That's right. Actually, speaking of which,
there you go.
Look, there's that bottle right there. That Sunset Sarsaparilla.
Filled with piss?
More like Sunset Sarsaparilla. I don't know. That's a bad one.
What? No, I think it was one of your better ones. Is that sarsaparilla actually?
I don't know what sarsaparilla is by definition. This is just root beer. It's a root beer.
Okay, so I think sarsaparilla is like root beer, but it's a different herb and or spice than what goes into root beer. Like I just had a table recently that was asking me about, at the restaurant I work at, asking, they're like, what's sarsaparilla? And I'm like, I don't know why they're asking me. I guess I'm just supposed to know about all food and beverage.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm like, I'm just going to go in the back and Google it, and then I'll be back. And then I did. And I think it's usually unalcoholic, and it's like a root beer, but it's a different, it's different ingredients.
Sarsaparilla is a root, says Business Father. Oh, thanks, Top Cat, you're sick. For the piss lips.
You're passing those piss lips onto you.
Root beer is both sarsaparilla and sassafras roots. Birch beer is from birch bark roots. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, this probably is legitimate sarsaparilla then, as far as I can tell.
So we got a beverage expert here in the chat. Do you serve people food? Do you serve people food and drink? Because you seem to know everything about food and drink. And
Business Father is a chef.
You know. Well, there you have it.
That'll do it. That's why I defer. I defer to Business Father because I've seen them cook. They are a chef. So
I was doing a goof, but that's awesome.
Yeah, if they say anything about food or drink, I'm gonna accept it blindly.
Say I'm a literal chef. Yep. Yes, you are.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Cool. Hell yeah. Love that.
So yeah, we finished the Golden Girls. Now we're watching Golden Palace, and it's a shame that Golden Palace only has one season. Because honestly, I still think it's fucking funny. I still think it's great.
Okay, so you're liking that. That was gonna be my question before we went down many roads.
Yeah. No, yeah, I still like Golden Palace. It's still very funny. I'm still laughing. The main difference between Golden Palace and Golden Girls is now, instead of just like 4 old ladies hanging out, living together, having sexy times, it's the 3 old ladies. They're running a hotel. Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin are in it, and Dorothy is not there. But Blanche is my favorite, so she's still in the show, and she's the same.
So the good ones remain.
That's right. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm gonna take.
You should shit and fart on a BLT for umami. I mean,
that's what I'm laughing at.
This is advice from a real chef, folks. So you know, take that for what it is.
Umami
is umami just like is it the miscellaneous or other category, or is it an actual like tangible thing?
So
like, could technically anything be umami, or is it something specific?
So they say there's 5 flavor profiles. There's sweet, there's sour, there's salty, there's bitter, and then there's umami, which is basically like brothy, meaty flavor, I think, or something like that. Savory. Thank you. Savory.
Savoriness. Okay. So it's just okay. MSG.
Yeah. And so that was like a whole conversation I had with my family. We were like, "What's umami?" And then we like did some Google searches and like bought umami packets and tested it. It was a whole thing.
It's glutamate, which you'll find in beef, tomatoes, hard cheeses, garlic, kelp, fish, MSG. MSG is umami sprinkles. Hey, I was right.
Oh, well, there you go.
Cool.
Nice.
Thanks for that dose of information.
Yeah, thank you for turning this in. It just like mass uploads the frames for the VOD or something like that. And we're back. Hey, so yeah, just to repeat what the Twitch chat may have missed. First of all, if the Twitch chat is back, hit the pause, hit the play button again. It'll catch you right back up to where we are, because for some reason Twitch does not have a function that automatically catches you up to where the stream is current. You have to do that manually by pressing pause and play. And now for those who have rejoined us, where we last left off, I was saying that my farts do contain MSG. I felt like I needed to get that back out.
What do you think killed the internet last time? Don't say it again. You're just gonna get us kicked off again.
It's actually funny when you said that. Like, what do you think killed the and like the internet trailed off, turned into a robot.
And then it was gone.
So, yeah, I guess I can't divulge the secrets of my farts.
Darn it. Oh well.
Business Father does say shids and farts are the ultimate umami bombs, and I don't want to know if that's true or not. I don't.
Why do you think they call it a beef?
No. Oh, you solidified it in my memory now.
I'm sorry. Sorry, it's just science. Nothing, you know, science doesn't care about your feelings, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh jeez, I wish it did this time. Brandon.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Alameo, says Business Father. Brandon, what have you been? What sort of media have you been interacting with this week? I've talked about the Golden Girls. Now it's your turn.
Let's see. We've been watching. I've seen it all, but we've been watching season 2 of The Bear with Morgan. She has not seen it.
Still need to.
That is where they run a restaurant called The Original Beef. Just thought I should mention that part too.
Oh no. How umami.
Just umami. Umami. So we've been watching that. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, of like the new shows that have been coming out, The Bear season 1 was like top 3, I would say. So I'm excited to get around to watching season 2.
So 1 was 3.
Did I say season? I'm sorry, season 1. What did I say?
You said season 1 was
top 3.
Top 3.
I don't.
Season 2 is top 8. Ranking. Season 3 is not existing yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh god, the bear hyperventilates triggered. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a little bit. I've worked, I work in a restaurant now, but I've worked in the kitchen for a period of that. Not anymore, fortunately. I mean, fortunately for me, because I was not cut for that task. But it's it is triggering in some ways.
The
At
show
the same time, I think
triggers-
you made a good point, like an episode or two ago, where you were saying like it kind of like mirrors the chaos of a kitchen, but also like kind of offers this view of like, hey, if everybody works together and is polite to each other and respects each other, good things happen instead. Like there's so many shows that want to lean into that, like and even real life, like real restaurants that are just like, hey man, get thicker skin because you're in a kitchen and that's how it is.
Yeah, the show is very much.
We can actually like work together and be respectful.
Yeah, it rewards non-toxic behavior and shows how that can like make a better work environment, while it also like directly punishes like toxic responses to things. Like the episode, it's like I think either the second last or the last episode of the first season, where there's a fight that breaks out, and then the cousin character like punches a guy, and then the guy hits his head off of a counter, and then like they go to a hospital and they're not sure if he just killed a guy, and it's like, hey, this is why you don't do that to resolve conflicts, you know?
Yeah.
And then every time they do like a non-toxic and like positive solution to their issues, it works out for them, and everyone is happier, and it's like, yeah, that's that's how it should be. Is like you should all like support each other instead of like tearing each other down. So I do like that. I'm curious if that continues into season 2. And the show triggers me particularly because they keep doing this thing in season 1. I don't know how it goes in season 2, but in season 1 they keep doing extreme close-ups of people cutting food, like the knife going into the food with like very heavy like sound effects, and the media literacy in me tells me someone's gonna cut their finger or like to blood or
it's
off.
Chekhov's knife.
Yeah, but they haven't done it. I don't think anyone's cut their finger in season 1, or if they do, they're like,
it happened like in like the
ow.
first episode or something, and it was like a little thing, but yeah, I think they're just showing it to try to show like the urgency and rather than like the threat of the knife, because they're all like good at what they do enough that they're not chopping their fingertips off as often as you might expect them to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just watching it last night. Morgan said the same thing. She's like, I hate that every time they're cutting because I'm like waiting for somebody to like just lop a finger off.
Me too.
I'm like, it's TV has trained us to
really
feel
have.
like they wouldn't show it unless it's a threat.
Exactly. Also, a ton of locations in season 2 are the first restaurants I worked in Chicago. That's cool. That's one thing I like is I've seen a bit of Chicago. You've seen a bit of Chicago too, Brandon, probably more than me. So it's cool because occasionally I will recognize a location because a good friend of ours is a Chicago boy right now. They're trying to do better. It's the Gordon Ramsay antidote, and I think the Gordon Ramsay antidote meaning like you talk things through and things get better. I think that's what Business Father is saying.
Yeah, I'm curious whether they mean that Gordon Ramsay is the thing that needs an antidote.
Yeah, good point.
Because I might agree. Just because there's like this whole like, I mean, in real, like I was just saying before, not to just repeat myself, but like in real restaurants, there's this whole vibe where it's like, hey man, this is how it is. So
yeah,
we're gonna solve things by screaming at each other because there's not HR in a restaurant, I guess, and you can do that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that way. I don't know.
Oh, I see what
It's
Business
wild.
Father is saying. So Business Father clarified. They said, I think Gordon Ramsay's media persona is incredibly toxic for new cooks and culinary professionals.
I
so
agree
the bear
so
is,
much.
I agree too. The bear is the antidote for the Gordon Ramsay. That I understand what you're saying now. Because also I can speak with direct like experience. I worked in a restaurant, and in the beginning we had a really cool chef. He and I were good friends. We smoked weed together. I would go hang out with him and play video games with him. And like he was a cool guy, and everyone in the kitchen and everyone in the front of house and the back of house got along. No one yelled. We were all chill. It was a chill work environment. And then the one day I'm in the shower getting ready for work, and he texts me and he says, I got fired. The fucking dishwasher got promoted to sous chef, and then the sous chef got promoted to head chef, and they'd been working on a menu in secret for like 2 months or something like that. And these new chefs and sous chef were incredibly toxic, and they would sometimes have fights in the kitchen, and that would make our customers leave. Which, hey, good for you, chefs. You get paid the same amount at the end of the day, no matter what. They just walked out with our money, and like everything went downhill the moment they fired Kyle, the old chef, because everything was so chill under Kyle, the chef, where everything was cool and nobody was toxic. And then the new chef and sous chef, like we got along for like the first year or so, but it didn't last. And so like I've seen like the direct comparison of the toxic work environment versus the non-toxic, and I know it's possible to have a not shitty like situation in a kitchen. And I like that the bear is exemplifying that. Like, hey, just like treat each other like human beings, you know. And it's great to see the show do that, and I like that. And I like that shows have been sort of like there's a lot of TV. Like an example of mine is I used to love the show Archer. You've seen Archer like before, right? How much of Archer would you say you've watched? Like a good amount? Would you call yourself like knowledgeable?
I would say
of the show?
A good amount. I think the last one I saw was like Vice, or I mean I know they've done a lot after that, but I watched like up until they like
started switching.
I think the next season they go to space or something, or I don't know. They were just starting to do that when I watched like a season or two of that and then stopped after they were like mixing it up every time.
Gotcha. So I've seen every season except for the final one, which I need to, because I'm curious how it ends. But it's interesting because I used to really love Archer, and then, but like around the time that Archer was big and like up and coming, there was like this, like sort of, you could see this on a lot of TV shows where it's about just like a toxic work environment, you know? Or a hostile work environment is the phrase they use in Archer, and you know that's the same thing. And there was like Archer is like the synopsis of Archer is hostile work environment, and there's a lot of TV shows where like that's the joke is everyone's mean to each other, everyone sucks, everyone's a jerk, and that's funny. But then I kind of got over that, and I'm just like, these guys are just jerks, and I hate them. Like,
sure.
And I like that. I've seen a number of shows now, and this actually is going to tie into a movie I'm hoping to talk about, but not in depth because you haven't seen the rest of the movie yet. I do want to talk about a movie I've seen later on, but it kind of ties into that, where it's like, I feel like the pendulum is kind of swinging back from the hostile work environment as the focus into, like The Office was a show that wasn't about a hostile work environment. It was about a bunch of people who maybe they had like conflicts and stuff, but at the end of the day, they were there for each other. And I think that's why The Office has sort of endured in our like minds as like a cultural thing, because it's about like, at the end of the day, these people do have a like care for each other and they do look out for each other. And I like shows. I prefer a show that does that. Maybe I'm just like
no, that's fair. I mean, I think there's room for both, but
there's 100% room.
It gets
for both.
old when everything, like, I think, in my opinion, I think like the toxicity or the meanness or it can translate into comedy when it's like undeserved or unexpected, but when everything is toxic, then it just kind of gets old. It's like, okay, we're doing that thing that everybody does.
100%.
In The Office, not to go on a tangent, but I do. I just want to say this real quick. I think what makes The Office so successful, kind of touching on what you said, is that it's like a snapshot of like, there's every archetype in that show of people you know in your own work environment that just like bug you and annoy you and are weird or like alien to you. But then the show goes on and fleshes them all out, makes them all human, and makes them all like lovable in some way or another. So it's kind of like, here's all these people that you totally like everybody who watched that show sees each person. They're like, I know him. His name is so-and-so. I work with him. You know, like there's that version of it. But then like they give every character like human redeeming qualities on top of it. Yeah,
absolutely. And that show is also interesting because it obviously gets a lot worse when Steve Carell leaves, because then like Jim starts sucking heavy. Like Jim is a great character who you like. He's like obviously like the one that you are like, oh, I wish my office was full of Jims, because Jim's just like chill, kind of helps everyone get along, and he's kind of like a mediator a lot of times, and he like he does a lot of the conflict resolution in that show, along with the help. You know, there's like other people who help out, like Pam and Oscar and all them. They're like there's like adults in the room in that show, and then there are the children, and like obviously people have like flashes of, you know, stepping up to the plate, and people have flashes of kind of like regressing. But by the end of that show, like once Steve Carell leaves, like it's just like a solid streak of Jim sucks. that bugs me. But that's all I really have to say. And then they introduce a bunch of characters who I hate too. But you know, I mean, up until Steve Carell leaves, like it's like such a good show. And like you said, like they give these characters these fleshed out personalities and kind of humanize these people who you like in a work environment. Maybe you just wouldn't get to see like this human side to them. So yeah, I do think you're on the money with that. And yeah, I like to see a show about, if it's going to be a show about people, like for instance, Golden Girls. I mean, Sophia, the eldest, the mom of Dorothy, she's just a mean old bag, and that's kind of her character. And she's funny because like everyone else is like on each other's team, and I mean even she is like cooperative by like she's like 80% like super mean, and then 20% she's like friendly and cooperative and stuff like that. And I think there's a good balance in Golden Girls, and that's why it works. And that's why when Sophia is mean, it's very funny, because it's like there's some really good friendship going on, and then Sophia's just like, go fuck yourself, tramp. And then they go back to being friendly.
She's a good foil to
exactly. She's a good foil.
I should really watch some of that, just because I still hear people just like talk about Golden Girls, and I've like watched episodes here and there, but I haven't really watched it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel you. It's funny. It's like it was interesting because we watched Mom and I watched Golden Girls like while we were watching, I was watching Frasier with Mom and Dad, and like I'd already seen Frasier. I was showing them because I was like, you guys gotta watch Frasier, it's so good. They loved Frasier, by the way. I highly recommend watching Frasier. But you know, we were watching Golden Girls, but Dad couldn't stand the show for, I don't know, some reason, so he would leave, and Mom and I would watch Golden Girls. And I love Golden Girls, but they're not as consistently strong episodes as Frasier.
Right. Frasier exists in the Golden Girls universe, right?
I would not be surprised if it did.
He exists in every show, I think.
Technically, every show is in the Tommy Westphall universe. You know, we've talked about the Tommy Westphall universe.
Frasier is canon to every sitcom ever made, I think.
Every sitcom. I mean, I'm not gonna go on a rant about it again. This is more for the chat than it is for you, who I've talked your ear off about this. The Tommy Westphall universe is in the show St. Elsewhere. They end the show by revealing that the entire hospital and all the characters you have met all exist exclusively in the mind of an autistic child who is like imagining all of these stories in a hospital in a snow globe. So basically the end of St. Elsewhere says all of this was made up in an autistic child's brain. It's actually just a snow globe. Psych. But the show St. Elsewhere, over its runtime, had numerous cameos from characters from other TV shows, CSI, NYPD Blue, probably The Golden Girls, ER, you name it. If they were running as a sitcom at the same time as St. Elsewhere, they made a cameo on St. Elsewhere, which means that those shows are also part of this autistic child's imagination. And I'm calling the child autistic because that's what they like specify in the show. That's not my extrapolation, that's just what the show said. So then
you didn't diagnose the child?
I personally didn't give a diagnosis. A lot of people like to give like armchair diagnoses on the internet.
Sure.
That's not what I'm doing. So then those shows that were made cameos, those are part of this kid's imagination. And then if you have had a cameo from another show on one of those shows that made a cameo on a St. Elsewhere, it becomes this tangled web. And somebody did the math, and I think they found out that like 95% of TV shows, if you take the ending of St. Elsewhere seriously, 95% of like TV shows and like and on American television at least are part of this autistic child's imagination. And the kid's name is Tommy Westphall, so that's like Tommy Westphall theory of TV shows or something like that.
It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except through that filter.
Exactly. So I'm assuming that the Golden Girls falls into the Tommy Westphall universe as well. So does Frasier. But anyways, some episodes of Golden Girls aren't as good. Like the quality isn't, in my opinion, as consistently high as episodes of Frasier, where I think, like, I don't know, I can't even think of an episode of Frasier I don't like, and I can name like 3 episodes of The Golden Girls that I thought were like garbage off the top of my head. Actually, I can name 2, but you know, whatever.
You just keep those locked away.
I do. I'm not. That's in a vault. It's in the Disney vault.
The vault of shame.
That's right. The Tommy Westfall vault. Tommy Westfall. Anyways, I don't know. I was probably going on a tangent. That was probably like 5 tangents deep on something. Anyways, hostile work environment. I like that the bear is not. I like that the bear is about, and I like how the pendulum feels like it's swinging back to not being about hostile work environments. Because I also remember there's this Canadian TV show that me, the parents, and Z Newts in the chat, my brother, we all watched together, called Corner Gas. And I'm gonna say right now, Corner Gas, it's an amazing show. It's a phenomenal show. They ran for about 5 seasons, and then they had a movie, and the movie is spectacular, in my opinion. It's like an ending to the show, and the movie is so good. It makes a great button to the show. Oh, Guy Painting in the chat says, I like anime.
Guy Painting says, I like anime. Same.
I like Totals.
Welcome.
I like anime too. But I'm not as knowledgeable as I am about like junky sitcoms.
Sure. They haven't made a Frasier anime yet, but I can't wait.
Oh my god. Dude. First of all, I still want to make my Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as an isekai anime.
Sure.
Animation at some point, because I think that'd be hilarious.
That's what the world wants that from you.
Yeah. Hank of the Hill is the strongest anime. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I could also, I just like anything through an anime filter would be fun. I'm sure somebody's done it. I just need to like YouTube out all these things.
There was there's like an episode of King of the Hill where they get like a truck stuck, like a big old freighter truck stuck at the top of like a big ass hill, and they have to like reverse it down the hill because like the truck can't make it over the hill, and it's like snowy out, and like Hank manages to like successfully like back the truck down the mountain without any of them dying, and it's like a harrowing experience. And somebody put like anime music and like sound effects behind that episode and it felt very appropriate as an anime.
I want to hear Japanese dubs in a Hank voice. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to attempt it. I just want somebody who can speak Japanese to do a Hank Hill voice.
I don't know enough Japanese to string together a sentence, unfortunately. I can say.
I know 0.
Yeah, I can say Baka Gaijin.
Dang it, Bobby, that boy's a Baka Gaijin.
Except now you're just doing one word in the middle of it. I want full on.
Full on, yeah.
Japanese dubs. For.
When I do my Yakuza streams, I'll repeat some of the dialogue as a Hank Hill voice.
There you go.
Ooh,
I need to figure out some of these like TTS AI things, so we can get Hank Hill reading things if we knew how. I see streams that do that stuff. I just don't know how.
Business Father says my partner's roommate is Japanese and her English is excellent. She might be. Oh my God, yes. If we could arrange somehow. Yeah. Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
Just do an episode. I know it's a big ask. Do like 10 minutes of a show and then just dub it over.
Yeah.
Have her do her best Hank Hill.
Yeah. Also,
because that's part of it. That's an important part of it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Guy Painting says Ome wa Mao Shindiru, so I'm gonna try and say that like Hank Hill.
Oh, Ome wa Mao Shindiru. Dang it, Bobby.
There you go.
Baka Bobby.
Yeah, you just hear Bobby all the time.
Hey, Dad. But why am I the Baka Gaijin?
Dang it, Bobby. Ome wa Mao Shindiru.
Oh boy.
She'd also be doing a dude falsetto, which is iconic. Oh, I would love to see that. That'd be great. She's funny as fuck too. I bet she'd get a kick out of it. Man, you're making me want things.
Baka Gaijin, Bobby.
Don't promise things that you can't deliver.
Yeah, don't.
Because you're just gonna hurt me. I don't
Don't
want
go
to get hurt
giving me
again.
hope.
I promise not to hope anymore. Not after last time.
Yeah. So anyway, just to finish my Corner Gas thoughts, Corner Gas is a great show. And then like around season 3, all the characters just start being mean to each other because I guess they kind of thought that being mean is funnier, I guess. But it just like makes you hate the characters because like they just do mean shit to each other, and you're like, why would you lock them out of their car like that? Jeez, that's so mean. Hank. There's a character in Corner Gas who is named Hank. That is actually ironic that we bring that up. Anyway, so but like then the movie kind of turned like so the show kind of like gets tiresome by the end of it, and you're kind of like, would everyone stop being mean to each other? Like I thought this was a Canadian show, and then the movie's phenomenal, and I actually have no complaints about the movie whatsoever. So they kind of turned it around.
Oh, it has a movie too.
Yeah, the movie is like acts as the finale to the show,
Man.
And it's perfect.
Canadian shows just get movies willy-nilly. I feel like that's the thing.
They do, yeah. I mean, they either get a movie or they get like a million new seasons after they supposedly end, because Netflix gives them like 7 new seasons.
Right.
But also there's like 8 Trailer Park Boys movies.
Right. I think they're still just making them occasionally.
Yeah. I can send you her Insta, lol. Please do. I mean, I don't know how to like cold call somebody on Instagram and be like, can you do a Hank Hill for us? But we could figure something
I've been sending that message to a lot of people, but none of them respond. I don't know.
I don't get. No one will return my calls anymore.
Ian, when do you think we should
do their little game?
Skip over to our game. Should we take a break and do that soon?
We should. Yeah, want to do it in like 5 minutes?
Sure.
All right.
That's good. I got my plant done. I'm working on man getting fired.
Oh, nice.
Opinions on how he looks. Let's try to make him look as like basic as possible.
I think it's perfect
for this.
It's like a perfect candidate for that joke. Real quick before we go on break, though, I do have some thoughts on the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, because I did watch that this week.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away because you haven't finished it yet, and I don't want to.
I know. I should watch the rest. I liked what I saw.
I don't want to spoil it like I did Final Fantasy VII for you.
What happens in Final Fantasy VII?
Nothing. You ride a dolphin.
Yay.
Which actually I am curious.
I just got done doing some squat competitions. That was
seriously?
Fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they kept that in. That's from the original, I think.
I think it is. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sephiroth and Cloud get married. They do.
Aw. I've always wanted the best for them. I'm glad.
Yeah. I did see a clip of Robert Pattinson kind of geeking out about Final Fantasy VII with.
Really?
Somebody. Yeah, he was like. He just like started talking about the plot in like an interview. He's just like, "There's like a girl named Iris, and he just like gives the whole plot. You can kind of tell he's like a fanboy in the interview. It's
he was just excited to talk about something other than the Twilight movie that he was doing press for.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just like super cuts of him just being miserable in those interviews.
Hey man, a paycheck's a paycheck. I get it.
I know. I mean, I'm sure if you asked him if he could take it back, if he would or not, I bet you he wouldn't, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Got him on the map. He's just, I think, hated doing it.
Yeah.
Those movies are fascinating to me. I've talked about it. We just talked about it, I think, last week, or the week before, but I wish I could see, like, who mainly is to blame. I know that the source material is terrible, but it's more to it than that. Like, there's something with the direction or the some editing that really just brought it home to being bad.
I would love to get our bad movie
maybe all
night
of the above.
Like, I mean, you've already watched it as part of a bad movie night crew. I don't know if you'd be down to retread those steps, but I mean, I haven't seen the movies like outside of clips.
Yeah, I just watched them for the first time. We had a group and we went through all of them, and we just finished the last one, and it's like a lot of just to quick summarize what I said like a week or two ago, because Guy Painting was saying that their sister is a big fan. A lot of the people in the movie, I know they can act. I've seen them do it in other things, but in this, everybody's like the most stiff, like man, like just like looks like they're acting for the first time. Everybody's just like awkward, stiff, weird. And I think the script was bad, but on top of that, there's got to be something else, because it's just like strange watching these people look like they've never acted before. There's only like 1 or 2 people in the movie that actually seem at all natural.
Who are they?
It's weird. Michael Sheen.
Of course.
He plays a big weirdo, but he just like he just breaks through. Like he's not only, I mean, he's hamming it up, but he's also just like acting the hell out of that character. Even no one asked him to. No one else is doing it, but he's just like going all in. He's
the consummate professional.
He's not phoning it in at all. And then Bella's dad is like this cop, and he plays. He just seems like a frustrated dad because his daughter is like running around with these weird weirdos.
Yeah.
And he's just constantly like, "What? No! Like you can't do. What do you? Why would you think I'd be okay with that?" kind of thing. Is like the energy of the whole movie. And
I guess I don't want to give too much details about the adventures of Normal Guy, but that's.
I think the stream might be. Oh no, it might be back.
Oh, it is.
It went down for a second.
It took a hit. Oh my god! It says I've lost like 30% of frames. Holy shit! Oh, you know what? I think it's probably when we disconnected before it. Like reset the frame counter or something like that. I don't know. Oh no. Business Father says the new True Detective is like that. Like I know Jodie Foster can act.
I've heard decent things from people. I mean, it's not necessarily like I wasn't like. It's not necessarily the people that have told me like, oh, you should watch the new season aren't necessarily like my most like trusted media opinions, but. Gotcha. I've heard that the newest season was decent. I don't know. I've only ever seen the first season.
Yeah, I mean the first season it's such a hard act to follow because the first season was so good.
Yeah.
But I mean I've seen bits of season 2 and like I didn't hate what I saw, but I hear that overall as a package it's not like a consistent like product like altogether.
Right. It's kind of the vibe I get too.
Hey, should we take break for our games?
I think so. If we're gonna do it, I think we should.
All right. One last thing before we go. It's less incoherent than season 2 or 3. Season 2 is bonkers. Interesting. I saw like the last episode of season 2, so I can't comment. But I did hear people talking. I heard like there's like mention of like a blowjob robot in season 2. I heard like.
Wow.
People say like, why the fuck did they talk about this in season 2? It sounded like people were in general confused by like the dialogue of season 2, so I'm curious. But
I mean, if you saw the last episode, then you probably got the gist.
Yeah, probably. See, Vince Vaughn is like literally literary mobster who talks like that. Nobody. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying? I cut you off.
I watched the very last episode of Lost, and it's the only episode of the show I've seen.
Oh, then you're solid. You don't need to.
And there was something. I didn't do it intentionally that way. I just had a friend that was like very into it, and I came over when he was watching the very last, like the finale, and I'm like, all right. And it just was funny to me. This thing that was so like culturally big at the time, and had just like dug itself into so many plot holes. It was fun watching this like frantic like attempt to like make it all make sense without any context. It was just, I don't know, it was a real strange way to watch it, but I enjoyed it.
Drew Gooden did a video about Lost, I want to say a couple months ago, where he said that, you know, if you take away what everyone was saying about the show, like if you actually just watch it straight through, it's not as like fucked of a show as like people make it out to be. You know, whether you want to take Drew Gooden's word for it or not, that's up to you. But I don't know. I'd be interested in giving it a shot sometime.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything because like I said, I have like no context. I have no information. I didn't know the names of the characters that were doing things or anything about them. I just came in literally the last second, and yeah, that's all I got.
That was your window into Lost.
Sorry, I watch shows like a manga. I start with the last episode and then I go backwards.
There you go. All right, we're gonna take a break. There are a couple of things in the chat. I'm gonna speed fire some responses to the chat, and then we'll go on break.
Okay.
True Detective, I'll be honest, always sounded like a boring old man show. It can be, but season 1 is a great neo-noir, and it's phenomenal, and I highly recommend. It's not funny. It's got funny moments, but it's just mostly just like a very good drama. It's the show that put Matthew McConaughey on the map as not just a rom-com guy. It's like before True Detective season 1, Matthew McConaughey was a rom-com guy, and then True Detective season 1, he was so good that they were like, oh, he's a serious actor now. He's just gonna be serious forever now. And then he was in, or maybe he was in Dallas Buyers Club around the same time. I don't know, but that show was definitely like the turning point for him, time-wise at least. Business Father says Vince Vaughn, he's like a wise guy who reads Harper's and Mother Jones. That's hilarious. David Lynch pulled off a miracle fixing Twin Peaks plot holes with season 3. I've heard similar things. My brother just finished watching Twin Peaks seasons 1 and 2. He seems to really like it. I've been meaning to watch Twin Peaks. Drew
it's very weird.
Yeah, I hear. Drew Gooden's pretty cool. And then finally, before we go, seems Twin Peaksy. I like that. I recommend True Detective Season 1. Seasons 2 and 3 are completely unrelated stories. It's an anthology series, but True Detective Season 1 is so fucking good. Some of the best television I've watched. I highly recommend. Alright, guys. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to play a game. Alright, bye. Heyo! We're back.
Ew.
We're Looney Tunes back in action, baby. Brandon, how is that
Finally.
break?
That break was so good. I had it, man. I really had some self-reflection. I grew as a person, and I'm ready to draw more.
Hell yeah, that's good. I learned nothing, and I'm here to continue my mistakes.
Okay, cool. So we kind of balance each other out, or just contradict each other, maybe.
You're the yin on the yang, you know?
Which one of us is the ego?
I would say I'm probably the ego. You're the super ego. And then our chat is the id.
Oh. It's a shame Austin's not here.
I know, he would love that. Alright, let me get this website. So we're going to play a game, folks, and then we're going to continue talking about inane bullshit. Brandon, while I get this cooked up, would you like to explain the game for our lovely audience?
So the idea, this is the first time we're trying it, so we'll see how it pays off. But the idea is that we're going to have a generator give us 3 random emojis from the official bank of emojis that exist. And we're going to try to combine them into one drawing.
Yes.
The best we can.
We did not steal this from Drawfee. I don't want to hear people say that.
What's Drawfee?
Huh? I like coffee. What? Alright, so I'm going to paste your emojis right next to your name.
Oh, are you doing mine and I'm doing yours?
Oh yeah, I figured we could do them for each other.
Okay,
that way.
That works.
Okay.
I hope you were nice to me. I'm gonna do that to you as well.
I tried to make sure I gave you solid emojis you could work with.
I was excited to draw the ones that I had for me. So okay. This works.
Okay, cool. Sorry to take your emojis. If you want, we can.
No, I like that. You were right. This is way more interesting.
Okay.
But okay, so just to for the chat, you have bunny, spaghetti, and meatballs clock, roughly at about 3 o'clock. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's about a 3 o'clocker.
And then for me, we have a pointing finger, a man laughing, a train.
Yes.
There it is.
I did get a couple of ones that felt more confusing. I considered giving you one that maybe you could interpret more, because it was like...
This one feels like it's going to go like maybe one of two ways for me. But I'm gonna try to be more... I'm going to try to find a way to be creative with it.
Okay. And if we have spare time, we can then interpret each other's emoji set.
Sure.
I'm gonna hide your results so that I can react to them.
Oh, fun. I'll do that for you as well.
Cool.
This is how tarot card readers should do things from now on.
I agree. The emoji is upside down. That means...
it appears that this is the dancing woman in red dress. This means that this year you will be a very... you'll have an awakening spiritually. Next to that, we have a purple devil. This is unfortunately the death emoji. I'm sorry. It means something terrible will happen.
That's very unfortunate.
Finally, the eggplant, which means a penis.
Not a lot of room for interpretation on that one. It's just
the way it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't make the emojis, okay? It would be fun if, like, the emojis could be turned upside down, too. And then that would, like... It's like how tarot cards, if, like, you have the upside down version of one, it means, like, an inverse sort of relationship to the,
Oh, right.
So yeah. I'm curious what you had in mind for your emojis, or if you had... Did you have something, like, specifically in mind already, or were you,
I don't know. I was thinking of ways I could go with it. I know it's not the easiest one, but I think it's nice that it's kind of, like, vague, right? You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too hard.
I gave you ones that were slightly less vague. 'Cause I got one that was, like, tiger, four-leaf clover video camera, and I was like... You could do something with that, but is this too hard? I don't know. I felt like the one
Hopefully this... That's almost exactly like what I gave you. Like, really, if you break it down, just animal,
True.
Random item. Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what I was gonna do after.
Okay. Maybe it's more of a randomized thing if when I pick the emojis, like, we just roll with whatever we get, you know? Because, like, you know, I don't know. We'll feel the game concept out as we...
No wrong answers.
Yeah.
But I mean, the idea I had for it was nothing like inspired. It was just something I was gonna draw. But I don't know. This is better. This is a better concept.
Cool. I'm glad. So before we left for the break, and before we went on like 6 tangents, which is the nature of the show.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, like, this is great. It means that we get to keep the conversation going instead of hitting a brick wall and being like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about it anymore. I did want to talk about the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm not gonna get like super in-depth spoilery because you haven't finished it, and you know, I don't wanna ruin it for you. But I liked it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler.
I didn't know that.
Oh, jeez. I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else in the world seemed to.
Once?
All at once, everywhere.
Everyone, everywhere.
Everyone, everywhere, all at once. I don't even remember the name of the movie anymore. That just completely fucked it in my brain.
Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, all the time. Everything. Is it everything?
All at once?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that completely like shunted it out of my brain. Anyways,
yeah, took its spot.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as other people, but I thought it was good. I'm glad. Like, even if I didn't like it as much as everyone else did, I'm glad that it was as successful as it was and that it won so many awards, because it is a very unique movie. It's original. It's doing its own thing, and I'm glad to see that get like accolades and success, because you know, what's the other option? Like a fucking like Terminator RoboCop sequel getting awards or some shit like that. Like, dude,
RoboCop?
that would actually be kind of
Terminator?
a crossover.
What do you? You're doing that thing. Now, you're giving me more things that I wish I could have that I'll never get.
We can make it happen. Let's talk to the UCB people.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm glad it was a successful movie, even if like maybe I didn't vibe with it 100%. I liked it. I would give it like a 7.5, maybe an 8. But I just felt like there were aspects of it that didn't translate for me. So like for instance, it's a very you know, if you've watched half of it, you understand that it's a very frenetically edited movie. Like,
yeah,
it's the editing is weird, the pacing is very interesting and unique, and I think that works for it sometimes. But I also think maybe it's because I need to watch it a second time. I feel like it works better on a second viewing. But I do think that like the way it's edited and paced is very confusing and off-putting. And in ways I can tell it's intentional, but in other ways I feel like maybe it could have been done a bit more tight. I don't know. It feels like a very tight movie, so saying that doesn't feel correct. But like, I don't know. Sometimes the editing and the pacing felt a little bit too like
all over the place.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but I still liked it, and one thing that really struck me is like, well, also, first of all, also the sound design kind of felt off. I don't know if maybe someone had altered the volume on, like someone turned the volume down on the TV or something like that, but like it felt like the sound design was not consistent in terms of like volume and like what's supposed to take precedence over other sounds and things like that. That's a minor gripe, because it wasn't like the movie was still very watchable. Have you guys watched The Curse? Brandon finished watching The Curse not too long ago, actually. So
yeah,
he's got thoughts on it. Business Father is asking about The Curse in the chat.
Yeah.
If you want to give a quick synopsis of your thoughts on The Curse, you're more than welcome to. So I don't.
Well, I mean, you're right, smack dab in the middle of it.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
You were saying.
I'll finish what I'll wrap it up real quick.
No rush. You know. No rush. I'm interested to hear your opinions. We'll get to The Curse.
All right, because I don't want to like.
We've talked about it.
I don't want to hog the conversation for the whole time, but so yeah, I think it's interesting. What they're doing is very interesting. If feels a little unfocused sometimes, but it's interesting how the movie feels both unfocused, but at the same time supremely focused. Like, it's so rapid firely edited that I kind of want it to slow down sometimes. But at the same time, I understand why they're making all the cuts they're doing. So maybe it's just like a difference of taste for me at points. I don't know. But what I will say is I'm glad, like, the movie is definitely doing unique stuff. And I also think that speaking of how we were talking about how, we're happy, or we like to see movies where the workplace isn't toxic and it's about like people kind of like solving their problems in a healthy manner. This movie is kind of like an antidote towards like super nihilistic, just like grim dark shit, because not to completely spoil things, but like there's an overall message that the movie is trying to send, and they're pretty on the nose with it. Like, they straight up say what the message of the movie is at a certain point, but I think it's a good message, and I think it's actually like it's a necessary message that I think people should take to heart, because it's like a very it's like a movie that's simultaneously nihilistic, but it's also saying not to give in to like the void of despair that nihilism can bring. It's like agreeing with a nihilistic perspective while also saying, but look around you and enjoy it, and stuff like that. And it's interesting. And so like, yeah, it's interesting the way certain characters start out one way. Like, there's a character who, I'm not going to say who because I want to keep it a surprise for you. There is a character who turns out to be like a complete, almost non-character, almost, but then they make a transformation and they kind of become like the hero in a sense. Like, not like the hero, but they do something heroic. And it's a very like aspirational sort of heroism.
Okay.
It's hard to talk. It's hard to say without giving it.
I should watch the rest of it.
You should watch the rest of it. What I'm trying to say basically is, I think, despite all my complaints about like the editing, the pacing, etc., 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 what the movie is saying is good and important, and I'm glad the movie said it. And like it redeems, like, just the movie's core message just redeems a lot of complaints I have about it, because at the end of the day, I'm like, but damn, that what the movie is saying something, and what it's saying it extremely well, and I'm glad the movie is saying what it's saying, and I think that that's commendable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta finish it. I've been meaning to. I just kind of, I didn't stop watching it for any particular reason. We just got like busy. Something happened. I don't remember what. It was nothing like serious, but we just had turned off. Didn't finish it. Forgot to start it up again. That's
Gotcha.
basically the end of it. But I was enjoying what I had seen.
Yeah, and if you were enjoying if you were enjoying what you saw, then if anything, you'll enjoy it even more when you finish it, because I felt like the second half is where everything kind of comes together and coalesces, and that's like, while I was a little bit confused in the first half, and also I was watching it with my parents, and they're not the most
I was gonna
cinematic.
ask
Sorry, go ahead.
about that next. I'm not trying to cut you off. I was just gonna ask.
Go ahead.
I have a question about that afterwards. I was gonna say, did you watch it with the family? Answer is yes, apparently. How'd they feel about it?
I mean, my parents are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very vanilla in terms of tastes of things, I would argue.
They're more like a general audience. It's not even like necessarily like a.
Yeah, it's not a disparaging.
It's not a dig.
Thing.
It's just. Yeah.
So, you know, I do feel like I was in their shoes just a little bit. So
hard not to be.
Yeah, if you watch a movie with somebody else, you're going to take on the mood. Like, there's a shared mood between you, and I do feel like it's gonna be like. So, like, say you're watching a movie with 4 people, okay? Whoever likes the movie most is going to have that, but then, like, the person who likes the movie least is gonna drag everybody down. You know?
A little bit, yeah. You're gonna like it a little less because you're gonna sensibly you're watching it with people whose opinions you care about, or also you just like absorb their feelings of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you watch a movie with somebody you've seen 1,000 times, but they're seeing it for the first time. You kind of get to watch it for the first time.
Exactly.
It's like their enjoyment of it is part of what makes it fun to watch a movie with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like, for instance, when we finished the movie, how far into the movie did you get, out of curiosity?
Blah. All right, let me think. It's been probably over a year since we tried to watch it. The things I name is just me remembering things. I'm not saying that this is like a point.
Okay.
I know we got to the point where her husband was like in there trying to help, like he was like showing up from like different
Alpha
worlds
Wayman
or whatever. We knew about their daughter being the big bad.
Yep.
What else was going on? I don't know. It's hard to say because it's so like, not necessarily a bad way, but it's so all over the place that it's hard for me to be like. And then this happened. I don't remember the order.
So there's like chapters in the movie. Because, like, you know, at the beginning they say chapter 1, everything. Did you get to chapter 2?
I don't remember. I really don't. I can't be that helpful. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, cause like
I'll just have to watch it.
there's a very like chapter 2 starts like at the halfway point of the movie, I would say. And it's like there's a very, very noticeable demarcation of like where chapter 1 ends and chapter 2 starts. There's kind of like a fake out.
Okay.
Did you get to like the fake out at all?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess no because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Then I'm
I'm just gonna watch it again. I can't really contribute.
I understand.
Too much, unfortunately.
And I again, I don't want to spoil anything for you because you know it's worth it. But so yeah. So anyways, there is a fake out, and it completely faked my mom out, and I had to explain to my like I knew it wasn't. I knew it was a fake out because again, I've watched movies before, so I know when a movie's fucking with me. A bit more than maybe other people. So my mom got tricked by the fake out, and I had to explain. Just wait. But like, I could tell that she was like interested, but she wasn't like 100% fucking with the movie. And then the movie ended, and she was just like, "Wow." That was what came out of her mouth when the movie ended. She was just like, "Wow." And I don't think she necessarily liked the movie, but it did make her say "wow," which is something. And then like later on, like a couple minutes later, I was like getting a cup of water. She was like, "That movie won a bunch of awards," and I was like, "Yeah, that's why I picked it for us to watch." But anyways, what I'm gonna say is the first chapter, which is the first half of the movie, is very rapid fire and interesting, and the second chapter is where everything officially makes sense and starts to come together, and all the concepts are being explained and laid bare. And I think that's the stronger point of the movie, is once you like really officially understand what the movie's trying to say and like what it's doing. And like also like the beginning of the movie, literally the sky is the limit. Like there's no like barrier, like because again they're kind of universe hopping, so you're like, where the fuck is this movie gonna go? By the second chapter, you've kind of experienced the universes they're going to explore. And so that kind of gives you like some, like you finally have like ground you can stand on and like understand the movie from. Which is I think why I like the second half of the movie more than the first half, is because at that point I was like, okay, I can catch my breath. I understand what universes we're operating within, and I understand some of the rules and like the limits of these rules. So I do, I do think for that the second half is stronger than the first half. They do a lot of weird shit. Again, I really love the message of the movie, and I think the message of the movie is important and should be taken to heart by a lot of people. And it's very sweet. And I will also say, what was I gonna say? I just had it. Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
What will you say?
You know, people, before I went into the movie, I had a very different idea of what I was in for, and then watching the movie, it was an entirely different experience than I expected, which is good. You know, I prefer that. But I will say, like, I thought it was going to be more straight up comedy. It's kind of like almost a kung fu action movie through and through, almost. Yeah. But it does have like funny bits. But what I will say is, I don't think the comedy landed as much as it could have. Like, there are some jokes that are very funny in my brain. Like, I think about them and I'm like, that's a funny joke. But then, like, in the execution of the movie, it kind of gets lost amongst everything happening. You know?
Fair enough. All at once.
Everything everywhere, just happening all at once. So, like, there are some jokes that I think are very funny, but only in hindsight. And I'm like, well, that joke could be funnier when I'm watching the movie. And maybe it is for other people. Maybe it will be on my second watch through, but... you know, in the context of actually sitting down watching the movie, some of those jokes don't make me laugh.
Sure.
But also, the movie works not just as a like if the jokes were taken out of the movie, I think the movie would work just as well. Which tells me it's not
maybe better if you're saying you're not that. If the comedy wasn't that great.
I mean, I think the jokes help, but I also like, you know. I think the jokes add levity to the story where it would otherwise be like just like almost like a seizure like inducing experience. So like the jokes, like and there's a lot of seriousness and there's a lot of like heavy emotional stakes in the movie. So the comedy is there to sort of keep things from feeling too grim and like fun. Like it still feels fun no matter where you're at in the movie, despite like everything that's kind of being presented to you. And the comedy is important for that aspect, but it just doesn't make me laugh, and that's fine. Because again, the comedy is still serving a purpose, but I feel like the jokes could have made me laugh.
Sure.
And that's the most I feel comfortable saying without, like, you know, giving shit away that I feel like would ruin your sort of first time watching it.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to watch it. I'm gonna have to do that soon.
Yeah, I recommend it. I mean, it's one of those movies where, for a movie that's like almost 2.5 hours long, it really it both simultaneously feels its length, but at the same time it feels so much quicker than that. Like there's so much happening in the movie that I feel exhausted by the end of it. Like I feel like I've run a mile, so it feels like it's that 2.5 hour length. But at the same time, so much is also happening that I'm like amazed it's not a 3.5 hour movie. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, again, the message of the movie really ties everything together. There's like a certain moment with a specific character. I'm not gonna reveal many details, but I will say like that moment is very important in the movie, and in my opinion, it's a great character moment. It's a great message. And when I think about that moment in my mind, it really sticks with me, which is good filmmaking. Like if it sticks with me and it makes me feel the way that the scene's supposed to feel, which is a very emotionally important and just an emotionally important movie. I'm not gonna say important in how it's supposed to make you feel emotionally, but it succeeded in what it was trying to make me feel, and it was important. And like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it did it. Which is good. And again, I think overall the movie is incredibly successful in conveying its message. Like, despite the fact that I was confused as fuck for like 90% of the movie, by the end I felt like I had complete clarity.
Okay, that says a lot.
Yeah, or I wouldn't say complete. I would say I had 90% clarity, but like, whereas up until the end of the movie, I was 90% confused, and then by the end of the movie, I had 90% clarity, and I got extra clarity reading the Wikipedia summary after the fact.
You have to do that, though, for some of that weird stuff. You do. I need to go Google how to feel about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that gave me 100% clarity, but I did have at least enough clarity by the end of the movie where what it was trying to do was successful.
Okay.
And overall, I would give it a 75 to 80%, or 7.5 to 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, which is good. I would probably like it more on a second watch because I will have that clarity, so I can kind of appreciate it more. It's good. And like I said, even if I didn't maybe like it as much as the whole world seemed to, I'm glad the world liked it, because that means that despite the fact it's a fucking weird movie, there is an appetite for a weird movie, and I would rather watch 10 movies that are weird and confusing and are saying something than a million than 3 movies that are just schlock bullshit, I've got a gun and I'm gonna my fucking sock puppet action movie. I'd rather have 10 movies exist of everything everywhere all at once than 3 dyed in blood 47 XXXVI, you know?
Yeah, it's even if for you, it didn't maybe land as much as it did for everybody else, it's just it's good for the industry that unique things are being made.
Yeah.
And doing well. That's Absolutely. The important part. Because there's always people making cool, weird shit, always. But, unfortunately, if people aren't seeing it or they're not making any money off of it, it's just not going to happen very often.
Yeah. And yeah, and if it's not successful, then you're just not, you're like, there's even less opportunity for a weird ass fucking movie like that to exist in the future. And so I'm simultaneously glad that that movie was successful, because it means that maybe there are like more movies that can exist like that. And I also know for a fact that that movie has inspired other directors, other filmmakers, and I'm excited to see the reverberations of like what that movie existing and like inspiring people. I'm excited to see what like people who were inspired by that movie go on to make, because I think that's also going to be incredibly valuable as art.
I think anytime something wins an Academy Award, it, like you said, those reverberations happen, and then there's a bunch of people that are going to try to make things, or people who are inspired by that thing are going to go make a bunch of things.
Yeah. Like
So,
and like for instance, the Small Beans podcast, which I've talked about on this show a couple times, they do like movie podcasts and things like that. It's by one of the main people of Small Beans is Michael Swaim. He used to be a Cracked.com guy. He used to make videos for Cracked. I've been a fan of his since Cracked, and so I kind of like re-followed like him at the beginning of last year. And like shortly after that movie came out, he got married, and they did their wedding. They like made like a video for their wedding. I forget what the exact, like, it's not like a wedding announcement, it's like a wedding, maybe it is a wedding announcement, I don't know, it's a video for
like
their
a
wedding.
save the date type thing.
Maybe, but I think they played it at their wedding. I don't know, but it's sort of like they made a movie, because they've made movies together, but like they made like a quick 10-minute video about them getting married, but it was incredibly Everything Everywhere All at Once like based, you know?
Okay.
And so like I also didn't understand half of what was going on in that fucking video, because I hadn't seen the movie at that point. But I guess what I'm trying to say is people are already taking inspiration from the movie and putting it into their own work. And like this was a 10-minute internet video announcing their wedding, because like they were saying, like basically they were saying, this is our new favorite movie. This movie is incredible. We love Everything Everywhere All at Once. We made a fan movie essentially for our marriage. I'm excited to see how proper movies, I don't know a good term for it, but like
budgeted movies,
movies that are made
to be
released.
Money.
Yeah, like I'm excited to see the reverberations of that.
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
All right. Cool. It makes me want to go watch it and finish it.
Good. You should. And not just like
I planned on it. I've only been putting it off because I forgot to watch it.
That's fair. It's on Amazon.
And every time that I'm like, I should watch something, I forget it exists until it gets brought up, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch that, and then the cycle continues.
Gotcha.
It's just how my brain works. Little glimpse.
Hey, I feel it.
Into the chaos.
The chaos in the mind.
I have to make a lot of notes and write things down, or else they just go away and they're gone.
Me too, man. And then like I write notes down, and then I don't check the notebook. So it's like I've written the notes down, and then it's useless because I haven't actually I don't look at the notes then.
I have a note app on my phone, and I put everything in there, and there's just like thousands of notes. And it helps.
How much do you read through those notes in a timely manner?
I use it pretty often, to be honest. And like the one you look at last is at the top, so it kind of stays relevant. Although because of that, some things get buried. But
yeah,
it helps me a lot.
That's good. I mean, I have like tons of notes in my notes app too, but like I don't I'll check them sometimes, and like especially if I'm like, oh, I should do this thing. Oh, at least I wrote a note for it. But a lot of times I'll find notes in my notes app, and I'm just like, ooh. About 6 months late on reading this note.
Me's gonna be pissed at me for forgetting to get back to me on this.
Yeah, but at least I have the notes written down to some, like I'm the same way. I do write like a shit ton of notes. It's just a matter of like I should be more on the ball of like actually looking at them. But I'm glad that I have the notes app. Like my life would be much less organized without it.
Are you coloring yours? Not to. I haven't started coloring mine. I was just curious if I should.
I spent way too long on the spaghetti, but I can probably color this pretty quick. It's up to you because you have to draw a whole ass train.
Yeah, I did.
So your coloring yours might be more time consuming.
Yeah, it will be. What time is it? 10:07. I'm okay with not coloring these unless you really want to.
We don't need to color these.
I think, you know, I think it's not needed. my image is properly conveyed in black and white, and also, you know, do I need to spend more time on what I did? I'm not sure anyone wants that.
Don't you want to turn your emoji drawing into a fucking masterpiece, bro?
I mean, maybe with some other of them, but I don't know about this one.
All right.
I did the prompt though.
I spent way too long with these fucking spaghetti noodles.
Boy, is it gonna make me hungry for spaghetti? Did you put that much detail into it?
Probably not, actually. I mean, they're black and white noodles, so they just kind of look like a bunch of lines.
Joke's on you. I'm always hungry for spaghetti.
Oh, me too, though. I do love spaghetti and meatballs.
Of course you do.
I'm Italian.
Yeah.
I'm Italian.
Fuck. I'm trying to be better.
You didn't say it. I mean, don't. You're good.
I said it yesterday. I caught myself and I was like, damn it. I've been getting better. I don't know where that one came from. It's embarrassing.
I don't mean to shame you about it. Like, it's fine.
No,
like,
please do. I need the shame to grow. At least on this thing.
I was watching
it's at least got to the point where now if it comes out of my mouth, I immediately am like, fuck, I'm like correct myself. So I feel like that's the step right before you get it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like saying something ironically becomes the first step before saying it unironically. This is like the step before you correct yourself.
Just gotta train my brain.
It's kind of funny. There was an episode of, I think we were watching Golden Palace, and somebody said Italian on it, and I thought of you.
Great. That'd be my legacy. If I die tomorrow, that will be the things that remind you of me.
Yeah, I'll bring that up at like the wake. I'll be giving a eulogy. I'll be like, Brandon, what can I say about the guy?
He didn't know how to talk. He was an idiot.
Great creative partner. He was one of my best friends, and he said Italian wrong. I don't even know if it's wrong. For all I know, it could be right.
It is, I think.
Oh. Wait,
I also accidentally say nuclear sometimes. I'm trying to correct that one. That one's more forgivable, I think, because it's like not a word that's used a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, whatever. They're equally nonsense words.
Yeah. Once people started shaming George W. Bush for calling it nuclear, that's when I kind of like nipped that in the bud for my.
Yeah, you don't want to be associated.
Yeah.
I got that one pretty much solved, but
I haven't heard you say nuclear. I think you're good.
I'm growing.
Yeah, you're growing. My boy is growing. Business Father says, I started saying tight ironically, and it's not ironic anymore. Also, what is the consensus on whether or not it's okay to make fun of Italians? I make fun of Italians all the fucking time, and I mean, we're still technically white, although we're gonna be like the first white people to lose white status. If it ever comes to that. But make fun of Italians, I don't give a shit. Because I mean I make fun of Italian people all the time, but you know, I feel like they're the only people I'm kind of allowed to make fun of as a blanket thing. And I will say, you were there for this, Brandon, but we were playing Raft together, and I started saying, oh, that's sick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I was, like, mad at myself. And then now it's part of my lexicon. Like, you saw the transformation happen in real time.
It's happened to me 100 times, too. If you want to, or better, you know, let's put it this way instead. If you don't want yourself to say certain things, don't ironically say slang, because it will be part of your, you'll start saying it for real.
Yeah.
It just slips in so easy when it's like, I think when it's like catchphrases or slang or just like something that's just like one-off things you throw out, you do that, and then that's the stuff that gets locked in and changes who you are.
Yeah,
I have a million of
absolutely.
those that started off as jokes and now they're just who I am.
This is why I never used the phrase "it's lit," is because I knew the moment I did it as a joke, it would become, and like I don't want to be, like I don't want to age myself anymore. Like I'm already 32, and like, you know, I don't
young
wanna
people say lit, man. If you say it, you'll be cool.
Yeah,
Don't you want to be cool?
Dude, don't
you want to be cool, man?
It's so lit, it's fire. You know? Like,
is it lit, fam?
Dude, it's there's a Cody Co video where they're making fun of like slang, and he's like, dude, it's so ill on the Lit Bay fam or something like that. They're like making fun of Jake Paul. Bussin'. Yeah, it's bussin' on the Lit Bay fam. Or that's not what they said. I forget but they say Lit Bay fam. Like, and that is in my head. I say based a lot. I do call things based on way too often. And I hate myself for it. I'm like, oh man. Like, if someone gives a take that it feels incredibly, like, intelligent, down to earth, and like, you know, on point, and like on point's another one, by the way, and feels correct, and like allowing of the multitudes of life and the diversity of like people's situations, I'll go like, hey, we love a based blank.
A based king.
Yeah, I could say, I haven't said that actually. I haven't started calling people king yet, but you know, if for instance, Brandon, if you'd said something that I agreed with and felt was very accepting and smart and down to earth and intelligent, when that ever happens, knee slap. Anyways, I would be like, we love a based Brandon. And I hate that I do that.
How dare you, you son of a bitch.
I'm such a prick.
You set it up and then you didn't even let me do the self-deprecating joke. You took that too.
I'm
You
sorry.
set it up and insulted me.
I'm sorry.
There was nothing there for me but pain.
I went nuclear on that one.
You sure did. How's your drawing coming along? I want to leave.
It's pretty much done. I don't know. I just been trying to, like, my fucking rabbit's body's all fucked up, and I've just been trying to fix it, and it's not gonna get better.
I mean, you could have drawn a train instead. That's easy, right? Drawn a train.
I probably actually would draw a better train than I would a rabbit. I don't draw.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think I've drawn more trains than rabbits.
I think this might be the first train I've ever drawn, to be honest. If I really think about it. Have I drawn a train? Probably not.
I'm excited to see.
No
it.
choo-choos.
No choo-choos for you. I choo-choo-choose you. Man, yeah, this drawing sucks that I made, but it's I think it's as good as it's gonna get, unfortunately.
I'm excited to see it. Even after I gave you that great prompt of rabbit, spaghetti, that, I mean, I think everybody can immediately think of a million ideas with that. That's a good one.
I wonder if my idea is at all like what you had in mind.
The more I like think about like what I was gonna do, the more I'm kind of glad I didn't have that.
No!
'Cause I'm like, it was not even like good. It was just like, I don't know. I was just gonna make a drawing of those things like combined, and it wasn't clever at all.
It was gonna be like rabbit spaghetti.
It was like gonna be like I think I was gonna do a rabbit like eating spaghetti with like a Flavor Flav clock on or something. Like there's just no cleverness. I just combined the things, and I'm realizing that's not fun. So,
oh, okay.
Enjoy.
That actually sounds more fun than what I've drawn. So, I'm ready whenever you are. Just let me know when you are all set.
I'm ready. If you are.
Right before we do our reveal, I'm gonna just I mean, it's not a reveal for anybody else. It's just a reveal for each other. But Business Daddy said it took a day for me to start saying tight and sick. Same. I mean, it took me a week. I would say of me saying tight and sick, and now I sit. Both are part of my vocabulary. This happened this week. I'm horrified. Well, you've caught up to me. It's lit, fam. Delulu. Oh fuck! I forgot that Delulu is a is a thing people are saying. Ugh. Bussin', bet, based on, based. I got my 80% straight dude guy I'm dating to start calling me homeboy, which has been lit, fam.
I like that as a nickname.
That is, I mean, it's fun.
Homeboy.
My ex used to get...
That one outdates us.
It does, yeah.
Predates us.
It does predate it. My ex got super pissed whenever I called her dude. She'd be like, I'm dude now? And I'd be like, I don't know. That's what I call everybody.
I feel like I call Morgan bro sometimes.
How does she feel about that?
She doesn't mind.
Okay.
We talk like maniacs to each other when it's just us. Like we get put away if anybody like hurt us. We're just crazy. Just like expending energy. We're like frantic and just like hyper weirdos. I don't know, saying a bunch of. It's like all the like intrusive thoughts just release when we're hanging out together. It's a good thing we have each other to like.
I was gonna say you sound perfect for each other.
Empty the trash. It's like bleeding the lines so that you can go into the world and be a normal human.
You're getting it all out of your system before you have to interact with people on a normal level.
Exactly.
All right, you're ready to. He's 43. It's hilarious, says business father. Well, homeboy is like right at the proper time.
He might have been saying it unironically at one point.
Yeah. All right, are you ready for the reveals?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm doing it one layer at a time. We got a guy pointing. All right, that's good.
They're all having a good time. Everyone's laughing their butts off.
I feel like they're both. Their laughing is going to be very short-lived. I feel.
They're enjoying it while they can.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a rabbit. He's making spaghetti, and the clock's ticking. You know, people are like, "Give me the food." Is the guy ringing the bell like a customer?
I was gonna say it's like the server who's got to get the food out.
Got it. I like it.
I feel like your Flavor Flav rabbit would have been funnier.
I like your rabbit's heads. I know it's a weird compliment, but
I like the way you draw rabbit heads. No, yeah, the heads I feel comfortable with. It's the bodies that like the body underneath the chef's coat. Like I redrew that a couple times.
Well, he's standing in an unnatural way, you see.
It's true.
So it makes it hard.
I've seen rabbits stand like that though, like up on the two legs, going like cleaning its head.
Sure, I guess that's true. Here's what you gotta do: you gotta draw a rabbit, and then you gotta put the chef coat on top of him.
Oh,
this is how all the greats do it.
I mean, it is actually how they do, how to do it.
You draw a Fibonacci spiral and erase the parts, leaving a chef's coat, and then you draw a rabbit, an anatomical rabbit underneath it. It's a whole process, but it works.
I love that meme where it's like how to draw an owl. Step 1, draw a circle. Step 2, draw a fucking owl.
That's how those books were.
It is though.
That's how they were. Because I had a lot of them as a kid, but I do think they helped me learn how to draw, not in the way that you would expect, like where it's like, oh, this is the process. I do these steps and I learn to draw. It was more like I just collected like a visual library of all the stuff that I was tracing, basically. Yeah. I would just be like, learn how to draw Donkey Kong. Like I had a how to draw Donkey Kong book, I remember. And I would just trace the final product. I didn't like actually follow the steps. But then like over time, I like remembered, oh, this is how they do mouths. This is how they do eyes, stuff like that. And then I just added it, and I just became a AI. I'm a fraud. Stole it.
That was that's something that kind of bugs me about a lot of like how to draw this books or like instructional guides. I remember like and there was like this one time it was on, I want to say Nickelodeon. And it's like, hi, we have one of the animators from SpongeBob here to teach you how to draw SpongeBob. He's like, hey, I'm the guy who draws SpongeBob for some frames. Here's how you draw SpongeBob. So first you're gonna, and like this isn't exactly what he says, but it's kind of like what it felt like. Is he's like, first you're gonna draw a sailboat. And with that sail, and then like, he would be like, and then you draw a line this way, and that makes his eyes. It was like,
oh, it was like cheat codes.
Yeah, it felt like taking a bunch of unrelated shapes and then like mashing them together and like it turns into SpongeBob at the end of it. And for me, it's like, that's a terrible way to learn to draw because I can't just like make the sailboat like that. If I draw SpongeBob from any other angle or doing anything aside from standing completely upright, like this knowledge is completely useless, and that shit always bugged me.
Business Father says, I like the ones with the block diagrams. Those genuinely help. Yeah, I think if you can teach someone to see the shapes within every form, I mean, that's like the base. That's like the first useful like step of drawing, I think. Yeah. That it's like the first thing you learn and the thing you use forever.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's ever like, how do you draw this or that? I'm like, the first thing I tell them is you got to figure out, you got to break it down into shapes. Like if you want to draw a shrimp, you got to figure out what shapes are the shrimp. Like, is this a circle? Is this a square? Is this a triangle? And then like, you know, that's helpful, I think, is like shape language.
You have to look beyond the shrimp.
That's right. You got to see the shapes
go into a rabbit wearing a chef coat.
Well, there is a trapezoid for the neck coat part, and then you draw a circle for the head of the rabbit, and then you draw another circle for the body of the rabbit, and then you draw another circle for the belly of the rabbit, and then you draw another trapezoid as the coat over the circles, and then you draw another circle as the leg thigh of the rabbit, and then another circle, and then another circle, and then another circle, and then you make sure you draw another circle, and then another circle, and then another circle, and then another circle. And if you want the hands to be doing stuff, well, that's another circle, and then another circle. And don't even get me started on the meatballs. Those are squares.
Yeah, you have to see the square within the meatball.
Also, Business Daddy is typing like, hands to the pass, hands. We
gotta stop. They can't enjoy the show because we keep reminding them of the stresses in their life.
Hands is something I haven't heard in such a long time, but it speaking of things that trigger people like that, ugh.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Our restaurant does synchronized service, meaning we like, there's 8 people at a table, we put down 8 plates simultaneously.
Oh yeah, we do that.
So that's a real, that's especially like, hands, we need 8 people, right? Stop what you're doing. We have to drop 8 plates right now.
Oh, those are the worst days, man. I hated that shit.
And your food's just sitting there dying as you're trying to gather 8 people to do this bullshit.
Yeah. Ugh. Hated it. Man, I hate working in restaurants.
I enjoy a lot of it, but, you know, it's also, I do it because I have to, but it's also like, not the worst.
My least favorite. It's not the worst day job, but it's also, it's not the best. My least favorite was catering weddings, because we'd be like, we'd be like, okay, well, now there's 120 plates. We need all hands on deck, and we're just going to be doing this for the next 5 minutes. And like, God forbid somebody trips while carrying like 8 plates. It was just like,
because then everybody, even though you've been tasked with this horrible thing, you'll still be the asshole.
Yeah.
If you drop some shit. Like, oh, you fucking idiot. You've killed us.
I have like so many war stories from catering and shit.
It's a wacky gig.
I still have nightmares about it.
I know we're just going on more and more tangents. We got to wrap it up. But I will say, all my like work nightmares, server nightmares and stuff, I often hear people talk about like the ones where you're like, oh, I remembered I forgot this or that. It's not that. For me, it's all my server nightmares are the same but different. I basically have to like serve like an entire dining room. We're like very busy, and then I have no motor skills. I might as well be like drunk or have brain damage or something, because I'm moving like super slow and I'm like forgetting everything. And like there's 3 tables that have been sitting there for a half hour that I haven't even got to yet, and I'm just like, the computer, I like don't know how to use it. And I'm just everything's just like clunky and slow. That's my server nightmares every time.
Man, you know what's there's first of all, I know the lack of motor skills nightmare. Like there's this GIF I saw once, and this told me like I wasn't the only one. But there was like this GIF where it's like this really janky clip from like the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon, where it's Spider-Man and he's running and his legs are kicking like twice as fast as he's like moving across the frame. And somebody commented on that like GIF and said, "This is what it feels like to run in my nightmares." And I'm like, yes, thank you. I've had that nightmare before where I'm like kicking my legs so hard and I'm moving like not at all. And
you're like, I know I can run faster than this. I'm sure of it. This is bullshit.
I feel like I had that nightmare. It wasn't a night, like, cause like sometimes when you think of a nightmare, you think like waking up in a cold sweat. But I definitely had a dream recently where like I was like moving with all my might and like my legs were just like putting out, like I was like kicking and I'm moving at like a snail's pace, you know? And it's, oh, I hate that. I hate that so much.
In real life, you're like sending your cat flying across the room.
Yeah. Ugh. But it felt very reassuring to see that person I'll see if I can find a GIF I'll put it in like the DrawBomb links thing, but
while you're looking for that reminds me, join the DrawBomb Discord.
Join the DrawBomb Discord.
We're gonna do something with that, more with that any day now. I do want to actually like dig in and like you've already done so much to like make it nice. I just want to get in there and like actively use it more and just add to it because I think could be such a fun thing. We have such a good community. So yeah, if you're not already there, join that. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever the things are you like to rot your brain with. We're there.
Yeah.
And we have a profile that you can follow.
If it's on the internet, we're probably there. We're extremely online people.
Add us on Threads. And is that still a thing? I don't know. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Business Father. Thanks Guy Painting for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I think that might be it today.
Xenoots, Lotus Clock.
Oh yeah, I had to reload my thing. I'm sorry. So I lost.
No, that's okay.
People.
Xenoots, Lotus Clock. Shiny Doggy was here. Jess from Boski.
Right.
That was, I'm pretty sure it. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. Oh wait.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was 100% it. Real quick before we do our plugs, I'm just gonna read the last few things that Business Father posted in the chat. There is some value in tracing. Yes, I agree. Black diagrams, yes. It's okay. I am doing admin ahead of reopening. The kitchen doesn't have gas turned on right now. Ooh. Though I have used the kitchen. I used to have kitchen printer nightmares, like I'd wake up in a cold sweat. This chicken is dragging 9 hours. The kitchen printer, like there's that episode of The Bear that is probably very, very much causing nightmares. Cause God, yeah, that episode. I'd call for party hands and get all the servers in the pass at once. Do a little jazz hands signal crossing the dining room. Make it less awful with jazz hands. I think Jack's jazz hands makes it better. And then Shiny Doggy says they are here and present. Hello, welcome. Brandon.
Yes, Ian.
Do you have any plugs?
No, I don't. But
oh shit,
I did. Do join those things that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Check out our YouTube. We have a new banger dropping soonish.
I'm hoping to get it up by Wednesday.
Okay, but also don't kill yourself over that. We got other things we gotta do too. So I don't want you to kill yourself. But I am very excited to see it. I like this one.
I'm excited for it too because I think it's very funny and I think people will like it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But on that note, well, I guess I should ask you. Do you have anything to plug? Or it might have been a gift to not ask you.
It was, but now you've gone and you soiled it.
Ruined it.
You ruined it. Check out DrawBomb where all the places exist. Listen to the album Rat Taxi. I don't have any association with it. I just really like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the new album by Kanye West. Ian's a big fan.
Oh God, no.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like
Not
Anthony Fantano. It's unreviewable.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's it. I don't know. Yeah, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel. This week, in like the coming days, we will have a new skit up, and it's very funny, and I like it, and it's good. And I have been like hard at work today alone, just making sure I get the fonts right for it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need me to help with any more assets, just let me know.
I'll be sure to hit you up. I'm going to just use the dogs barking that you have already done as the dogs barking at Alex Trebek. I've got like the one tugging on his leg, but the other two, I'm just gonna loop your animation if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
If it looks good. I mean, otherwise I can make some new stuff if you need it. Whatever.
I don't know if it's gonna look good. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it does.
Well, you know, once you see it, you'll know.
I will. That's true.
And let me know, because I'd rather us make it, you know, put in the little extra work and it comes out later and be happier with it, if that, you know, if that needs to happen. But if it looks good, then that's cool too.
We'll see. I truly am not sure. But we'll find out. Anyways, I'm gonna go let you hang out with your roommate, who is also your wife.
Yeah. I appreciate that. She's banging on the door. She's unfortunately the locks have held.
She's ringing the bell. She's going, hands.
She's saying, "Let me back in. It's cold out here." But I'm like, "No, not until the show's over. You know the rules."
DrawBomb is.
I need the whole house.
That's
if I'm gonna perform at this level.
Don't worry. I'll let you unlock the door. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Brandon.
Thanks for hanging out with me, Ian.
Oh.
Been fun. Been a great time.
I'm having a great time too. That's why
we'll be back tomorrow.
That's right.
Around 8. Was it 8?
That's a plug. Yeah, we should have plugged that.
Yeah, I know. How did I forget that?
Empty Head Buffet tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific.
We're recording some lines. That's right. I think punch up and recording lines is probably all we're doing tomorrow, or are we also writing a new script?
We're doing the punch up first.
I know we normally do.
Just so that Ian Abramson can get in and out real quick because he's on a tight schedule. But then if we have time still, we'll do the punch up.
Okay.
Or writing a fresh script, I think, at that point.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were doing that part or not, since I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing to get ahead. I just know we got a lot of other things on our plate at the moment. We'll figure it out.
We'll play it by ear.
Okay. Cool.
Shiny Doggy says I have time if you guys want to. I mean, yeah,
it's me, the DrawBois. I'm stuck in the internet. Help me, fathers. Help me.
No. Sounds danger.
Next episode, we're gonna try and get the DrawBois out of the internet. Everybody, we're gonna work on it.
We'll get him out of there.
Yeah, and Shiny Doggy says. Sorry, you go ahead. You were gonna say the same thing I think I was gonna say.
And just slow production for it. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like
said rip DrawBois, which I hope isn't canon because I'm worried about my boy.
Rip DrawBois, but yeah, we will we'll play it by ear. I think we can definitely slow production down on the sketch. Like, let's focus on getting the upcoming sketch done in time, and then worry about the next sketch after that. But in the meantime, if we can write some of the script out, that's cool. You know, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to us ramble and draw shit.
Thank you.
Bye. DrawBomb is recording live in front of a studio audience.